In our previous episode, we talked with Saren about a new lead in his investigation into the fire at the underground bazaar of Pantera. We also had some terrible news from Father Banff regarding our newfound friend Lucy. In order to help the old priest, we took part in a holy procession disguised as a nun in order to gain access to the scene of the fire. We ventured into the ethereal space to collect Lucy's spirit pieces, which were then transformed into shards by Father Banff. A memory fragment was unlocked, which has left the man of the cloth emotionally perturbed. While waiting for Father Banff to contact us, we did a few dailies, challenged a brave warrior at the Islet Arena, and even got to meet the great sage fragment deep into Pantera culverts. We've just reached level 31 when we receive a correspondence from the aforementioned man. It reads, "Do you remember the mother and son we saw in Lucy's spirit piece? I have found some information on them. Meet me at the church. Banff." Great! Father Banff remained true to his words. Thanks for coming through, Father. We enter the Grand Cathedral of Pantera, excited about the new development. The old clergyman greets us with a slight smile. "Bun, my mind has settled somewhat. The woman in Lucy's memory is Bonnie Imbulia, the former royal exorcist, and the boy is her son. As for the mysterious people behind them, must be white masks, I'm afraid. We can ask him, what does this have to do with Lucy?" And he tells us, "The mission I gave Lucy was to investigate where the white masks showing up outside the city were from. This mother and son must be a clue that Lucy found if it has shown up in her memories. If we want to learn how Lucy died, we should start from them. Along the way, could you also find more about the people in white behind Bonnie? Of course, I'll reward you for your trouble." "Where should I start?" we ask. We notice that Father Banff's face has certainly brightened up. "So, you accept the mission? Then, I can tell you, those two were driven into exile because of that incident. As for the details, I have some records here. Do you wish to read them?" Looking to our right, we find that a certain white-haired Lord Knight is standing a few meters away from us. We have three options. We can either inquire about the incident, ask what Saren is doing here, or immediately accept the records. First, we can ask him, "What is that incident?" And he replies with, "I don't wish to go too much into detail. I used to be the bishop here, that is to say, Paul's current position of glory. But after that incident, I was demoted to a deacon. Many people were implicated in that incident, such that the royal family even began to distrust the church." And then he whispers, "Biscus is over there. He was put here to keep an eye on me." If you really want to know, you should ask Bonnie. She was directly involved in it. Anyway, read the records first. Aha! We remember from the last video that Father Banff here had expressed some sort of hatred when mentioning Father Paul's name. He took Banff's place as bishop when he was demoted to the rank of deacon after that incident occurred. In many Christian churches, hierarchy is as follows. The deacon is the lowest ordination serving priests and pastors. They are not allowed to perform or celebrate sacraments such as holy masses, baptisms, and matrimonies. This is why Banff was disappointed that the responsibility of leading the blessing procession fell into the hands of Father Paul instead of him. The middle rank is priest or presbyter, who is allowed to perform sacraments. They serve under the bishop, who is the senior member of the clergy. A bishop oversees the entire diocese, which refers to the territorial area of a group of churches. And this may be stretching it a little further, but I think it could also explain why Father Biscus was hostile to us when we asked to see Banff in our first episode. Going back to our conversation, we can then ask him about Saren next. Why is Saren here? And Banff replies with, he too is connected to that incident. He was the one who exiled them. Look how unhappy he looks. Bullying a widow and her orphan is a blemish upon a righteous knight's honor. The white-haired knight turns to his left and butts in. Did I hear someone call my name? I was discussing something with Deacon Biscus, so I wasn't sure. No, you must have misheard. Banff denies. Anyway, read the records first. Finally, we accept the records about that incident from Banff. It reads, Bonnie Imperia, exorcising record number 12. Exorcism failed. Caused serious consequences, stripped of royal exorcist title, and banished from the capital. Executor, Saline. I think Bonnie's name here is merely a translation error. Her last name in the Japanese version of the game is Imperia, while it is Imbulia in the original Ragnarok Online PC game. I have a feeling they'll use Imbulia in the final version of ROONA. Going back to the story, so, that incident refers to a failed exorcism by this woman named Bonnie, and Saren is also involved in this. Let's go confront him about his involvement. We turn to our right and greet the devoted knight. He greets us back nervously. Nice weather today, huh? Father Banff called me over to discuss something. We're finished now, so I have to go. See you next time. Anxious to get some answers, we ask him frankly, do you know where Bonnie is? Bonnie? Why did Father Banff tell you about that? Damn it, I thought he invited me over for a drink, but it was to settle old scores. He replies, sounding quite annoyed. And you don't want to face it, we retort. Defeated, Saren replies with, to tell the truth, no one would be willing to bring this up. A widow and her orphan. To think that we knights would exile them by force. It is our disgrace. But Lucy saw them before she died, we tell him. Very well. You must not tell anyone about this, especially Priestess Saren over there. Otherwise our friendship is over. And we catch Saren looking nervously to the south. You like that priestess? We jokingly inquire. I wouldn't say like, I just want her to have a good impression of me. Let's get back to business. I couldn't face this memory, so I had my sister seal it away within this crystal. Take it. Everything you want to know is contained within. And we accept the crystal. Saren has a sister, huh? And based on what he said, she can seal people's memories into crystals. Does that mean she's a mage? We activate the memory crystal to relive Saren's memory. When we awake, we find ourselves in Saren's body, and it seems we're somewhere within the gates of Pantera. It's nighttime, and we can feel the rain falling down on our head. We hear a knight calling out to us, talking about a leader who happens to be no ordinary child. And then we hear a voice coming from a young boy. Who are you? You must be the bad guy who picked on Mummy. Suddenly, a group of monsters spawned right in front of us and start attacking us. We have no choice but to defend ourselves. Once the monsters have been defeated, the young boy exclaims, You broke Canon's toy! It seems he's the one summoning these monsters whom he refers to as toys. Again, we engage in combat and... oh my, it's so cool to be an Aggie-type Lord Knight. Kanu is very angry. There will be serious consequences. I will smash you till you die. Falling teddy bears! As we try to dodge Kanu's attacks, we find a few items we can use to distract him from casting spells.
Kanu, behave! Stop that!
You bastard! Look at what you've done! I will make you pay!
I'm terribly sorry, respectful knights.
You adults are bad!
I'm sorry, ma'am, but this is an order from the Knights.
I understand. We will be leaving now.
After we awake from Saren's memory, we realize what had happened that night. The young boy Kanu was upset because his mother, Bonnie, was expelled from her position as royal exorcist after the failed exorcism, and they were both exiled from Pantera. Upon hearing the news, he wanted to avenge his mother's downfall, so he thought of summoning monsters against the Pantera Knights. I don't think his goal was to hurt or even kill the Knights. I think that given his young age, he hasn't had any magic training yet, so his strong magical abilities, probably inherited from his mother Bonnie, triggered by his negative emotions, became uncontrollable. Having seen his memory, we can now understand why Saren didn't want to talk about this event. He still regrets that he couldn't do anything to help the exiled mother and child. With a sense of sadness and empathy, we approach Saren. "You've seen the memory in the crystal?" "Yes, I saw it," we reply. And just like we thought, he says, "The knights are the embodiment of honor, but also the retainers of the royal family. When our ideals clash with reality, we have no choice but to submit to reality. To tell the truth, I've always felt guilty for what happened to Bonnie and her son. So I could never mention it. It's an emotional block. We can console him by saying, 'It isn't your fault.' And he replies with, 'I sent men to search for them, and they had gone to Geffen, where they didn't have a permanent home. But Bonnie refused her help. Bun, do you intend on looking for them?' 'I want to look for Bonnie and her son,' we reply. 'If you want to find them, help me take this photograph to them.' They had left it behind at their original home. The photo may also be of some help to you." And we accept the photograph. Happier times. Both mother and child looked so happy in this picture. If only we could help bring back their smiles. We approach the nearest Kafra, the one assigned to the North Gate, to avail of her teleportation service to Geffen, the city known for its magic academy. Once within its gates, we look for a guard to ask for directions. This is Geffen, the city of magic ruled by the Hein royal family. Have you come to see Geffen Tower as well? We tell him that we're not here to sightsee, but to look for the mother and child in this photo. Despite his helmet covering his face, making him look like a plague doctor, why do Geffen guards have to wear this anyway? We can sense from the tone of his voice that he's pleased to see the picture. Oh, yes, I know her. Though she dresses simply, she is very beautiful, and her demeanor doesn't seem much like a peasant's. From this photograph, I guess she really was a noble in the past. Every few days, she will go to Geffen market to sell herbs, dressed very simply with a basket and a child. I wonder how she fell into such poverty. Do you know where they are? We ask. To which the guard replies with, I don't know where she lives. I've only seen her a few times at the market. I was stunned because of her beauty. But her son is very playful, singing a song that no one can understand all day. When Bonnie hears him sing, she gets angry. That naughty child is always playing with the other children over there. You should try asking them. With adequate information in hand, we thank him before turning to the direction he pointed at. Heading there, we find two children, a boy and a girl, playing close to a couple of food stalls. The boy spots us, his brows furrowed.
Hey, you're awfully suspicious. Who are you looking for?
We tell him, have you seen the child in this photograph?
You look suspicious. I'm going to yell for help. Unless you play rock, paper, scissors with me.
I guess we don't have a choice but to do so. Otherwise, we won't learn anything from this kid. With a look of determination, he exclaims,
Get ready! 3, 2, 1.
No matter what we choose here, I chose rock in case you're wondering, the outcome is always the same. He loses.
Hey! I choose scissors. I've lost. Boo-hoo.
Here, we can either be a bad adult and threaten him with, Speak, or I'll feed you to a pouring. Or be a decent person and say, Have you seen the child in this photo? The boy takes a look at the photograph in our hand and nods.
Yeah, I do. He's Kanu. Kanu's always singing some weird song about a serpent and eagle or something. I don't understand it. This is his mother, Aunt Bonnie. She's really pretty. And she knows magic too. She can make toys bigger and stuff. And she has lots of pretty clothes at home, though she never wears them.
Where are they? We ask.
Aunt Bonnie brings Kanu to Geffen once a week to sell herbs. Otherwise, if you want to play with Kanu, you have to go to East Geffen. But there are lots of monsters there and I'm too scared to go. I may be willful, but my playmate Kanu went out with his mom and I'm really bored.
Do kids really say willful? We can choose to either say, "Go on and play now, naughty ones," or "Thanks for the help, kids." When we opt for the first option, he frowns at us.
You just talk and talk. Boring. I shan't play with you. On to the next target.
He's clearly unhappy with us, so we just leave him to play with his friend. Taking the east gate, we arrive at a field and find a gorgeous view. This area is filled with trees, a small lake, and a few hills and mountains in the distance. The eastern fields of Geffen is huge. Where do I find them? Let's ask the Capra lady. We think to ourselves. Ah! Are the Amber Knights coming? Oh, an adventure. Well, welcome to East Geffen. Capra is at your service. This Capra is clearly not her usual cheerful self. We can either get straight to the point and pay no mind to her problem, or ask her why she's nervous. Ah! Lots of scary Amber Knights suddenly appeared on the riverbank over there. I can't focus on my work. I can't even think straight. Oh, so that was a river and not a lake. Like a responsible adventurer should, we proudly say, "Leave it to me." We walk toward the river and find the Amber Knights that have been bugging the Capra employee. Once we've defeated them, we go back to her, who gives out a sigh of relief. Oh, thank you, adventure. Finally, I can work in peace. How can I help you? Now we can ask her, have you seen the mother and son in this photograph? Oh, you mean the herb gatherer, Miss Bonnie? She lives in the hut over there. She's a very pretty lady, and that's her son, Kanu. He's quite naughty, running around all day. He's always singing strange songs about eagles, Jormungand, and so on. Miss Bonnie rarely leaves the boy's side. Finding him is easy. Just follow the sound of his song. We bid her farewell with, "Thank you, Miss Capra."
You're welcome. The Capra Corporation is always at your service.
She cheerfully replies.
A giant serpent that could devour the ocean. A giant serpent that could devour the ocean. It was eaten by the colorful falcon. The arrogant falcon started to grow scales, so it fell from the sky and met its demise.
We go in the direction where the voice is coming from to find a blonde woman scolding her son. Kanu, behave. Stop singing. There's a stranger approaching. Don't cause trouble like you did last time. The boy's name is the same as that of Bonnie's son. What's more, we recognize both mother and child to be the same as the ones in the photograph. It's them. We walk toward the woman, who glances at us apprehensively. What do you want? Is Kanu in trouble again? I'm terribly sorry. I'll make it up to you. He's still a little child. Please don't take it to heart if he's done anything wrong. We're just commoners who pick herbs for a living. We show her the photograph given to us by Saren. The woman looks surprised. This is a photograph we lost a long time ago. Why do you have it? We can either insult her by saying, "You don't look like the person in the photograph," or be honest with her by replying with, "Saren told me to bring it to you." The woman seems to appreciate our honesty. Saren. She sighs. Thank you, adventurer. I am now only a commoner, and only wish to live a normal life with Kanu. I hope you won't come looking for us again." "Did Lucy come here too?" we ask. "You mean that young lady isn't your ally?" To tell the truth, she seemed all alone in the world, taking on all sorts of assignments by herself to make a living in the Assassin Guild. I felt sorry for her, so I gave her one of my memory crystals. If she didn't bring it to you, then that's your problem. Please never come back here again. You're putting us in danger." "What kind of danger?" we ask. "The aftershocks of that incident. Now that it's already happened, there's no use talking about it. Please, I beg you, leave at once. We're just a widow and an orphan," Bonnie pleads. What shall we do? We know that we should respect her wishes to live in peace and protect her child, but we also feel like we need to solve the mystery of Lucy's death, and unfortunately, Bonnie's involvement in that incident, whatever that is a crucial key to this investigation. Before we can even decide what to do, the little boy Kanu butts in.
"I really want a mask. There was a lady wizard in white robes who had a white mask. It was super cool. She could also sing the founding of the nation myth and even wrote her own lyrics."
Bonnie raises her voice. "Kanu, why won't you listen to me? I told you not to talk about it." Kanu folds his arms, his voice quivering as he speaks.
"Why shouldn't I? All you ever do is pick herbs and sell herbs. You never spend time with me."
The blonde-haired woman is left speechless. We look at the both of them and say, "Let me help you." Kanu is too playful. I had planned on going to Lake Island to collect some Prunella vulgaris, so I'd be grateful for your help. We head south to collect the herb she needs. But on our way back...
I finally found you!
Mom! Who are these people? We better run! Don't be afraid, Kanu. I will protect you.
Brothers, let's go! Surround them! Don't let them escape!
Run! Wait, Kanu! Forget it. I don't have time for this.
Those were white-masked men. We rush back to Bonnie, who we find shouting with a worried look on her face. "Kanu! Kanu! Son, please come back!" She turns to us. "You shouldn't have come looking for me. The thing I feared most has happened. We were attacked. Kanu was so frightened that he fled into the woods." "Are there people watching you?" we inquire. "Yes. I know this place wasn't safe. I told you that you had to leave. If they capture Kanu, or something else bad happens, I'll help you find them," we insist. "Fine. You go that way and I'll go this way. We'll meet back here when we find him." We head east and let out a sigh of relief when we find Kanu standing next to some mushrooms. Pretending to be calm, he greets us with,
I didn't run here because I was afraid. I just wanted to go on an adventure. Well, my adventure is now over. It's time to head back home."
"Your mother is worried about you," we say.
Actually, I know that she worries about me. She's always by my side and never allows me to play by myself. I wanted to go on an adventure. Now that I've played in the woods for a bit, I'm really happy. I want to go back. Can you take me back?"
We can either ask him to wait or offer to take him back. Here, we have to stay close to him or he gets scared. He gets distracted by some mushrooms and takes a detour when... After fending off the wolves... It's those men in white! After defeating them, Kanu expresses his gratitude. We encounter another group of men in white with their mysterious masked leader.
"Adventure, thank you for saving me again. Let's go home,"
Kanu says happily. And the mother and son are finally reunited. "Kanu, you've come back at last. I was so worried. Let me see if you're hurt.
I'm not hurt.
Kanu shakes his head.
Lots of bad guys try to bully me, but I chase them all away. Kanu is the best.
Bonnie hugs her dear son. I'm so glad you're safe. Be good and sit here for a while, and don't go running off. I have something to say to this adventure. And she turns to us. Apologies for my poor manners, adventure. I was just so worried. I know he only came back unharmed because you were there to protect him. Who were the attackers? We ask. You can tell just by looking from their clothes that they're not from ruined Midgards. In truth, their actions go deeper and darker than you can imagine. They are like maggots that have eaten their way into the tree's roots. She smiles at us and hands us 2 objects. Please take this for helping us. It is Kanu's personal treasure. It is all we can offer. And we accept her gift. This is Kanu's personal treasure. Thank you for bringing him back to me. Here, we can either choose between a lollipop in the mouth and a crunch toast. The men in white have fallen back now. Did you have something urgent to ask me just now? We can show Bonnie Lucy's spirit piece that Father Banff unlocked for us. The boy excitedly butts in once again.
I know. That's the big sis in the white mask. She's so cool. She can also sing the founding of the nation myth and even wrote her own lyrics.
This is the content of the crystal I gave to Lucy. Bonnie turns her attention to her child. Kanu, Mommy's discussing something important. Play by yourself for a little while. We can either listen to the mother or the young boy. I think Kanu has been ignored by Bonnie for too long due to the difficulties of raising a child alone. Kanu deserves to be heard, don't you think?
One day I was singing the part of the song I'm best at. The great serpent swallowed the sea. The eagle of the rainbow swallowed the serpent. Then the eagle built its nest upon the swallowed sea. I was singing really well. I heard someone laugh behind me. When I looked, it was that big sis with the white mask. She had a beautiful voice. She bent down and told me, "Child, your lyrics are wrong. It should be, then snake scales grew on the eagle and it slowly died." She smelled really nice. I'd never smelled anything like that before.
What did she do after that? We ask.
Then, Mommy saw me. She ran over quickly and pulled me to the side and told me to stop singing. But she sang so prettily, so I changed my lyrics too. Only Mommy wouldn't let me sing the song anymore, even though she was the one who taught it to me.
Bonnie explains herself. I was worried for his safety. After that day, more and more white masks began to show up in Pantera. And then that incident happened. Kanu and I were exiled from the city by the knights, and I lost the position of royal exorcist. Oh, thank goodness. Finally, we have the chance to find out what that incident is. I feel like I'm the only one here who doesn't know about it. Banff has used that term countless times. Saren is also involved in it, and now we're here with Bonnie. What is that incident? What is that incident? We inquire. Bonnie looks around nervously. The men in white will be back soon. I don't have time to answer your question, but you can seek the answers yourself.
Ah!
Why can't anyone in this kingdom answer just this one question? Do I have to sneak into King Tristan's quarters and ask him myself? Do I have to do some ritual and try to summon Valkyrie Alvitir? Do I have to die and go to Valhalla first to get an answer straight from Odin? How should I do that? We ask. Bonnie goes inside her tent and rummages through her belongings. Take this red gemstone and this note. I've already told you about the contents of Lucy's memory crystal, so everything I know is with you now. You should go back before their reinforcements come. I hope you can understand how I feel as a mother. We respect the feelings of a worried mother who just wants to live a normal, peaceful life with her beloved son, so we wave goodbye to them and say, take care. We look at the 2 items we received from Bonnie and see that the note reads, Rune Epic, Koromov. Huh, that sounds like the name of a book. We've heard about a huge library that's located inside the famous Geffen Tower. Phew, we're finally here! We find the staff wearing a monocle and formal clothes by some bookshelves. Greetings and welcome to the Geffen Library. How may I help you? We do our best impression of a classy intellectual and say, I'm looking for the Rune Epic. Pardon me, adventurer. You'll have to wait for a while if you're looking for a book. The library is currently closed for renovations. Renovations? Why does the library need renovating? Geffen Library's collection is too large, so the mages of Geffen Tower have designed a magical cataloging system that operates on light. So, the library is temporarily closed. I'll send you a letter once it's open again. Ah! Alright then. We have no other choice but to say, please do. And the screen turns to black. Banff seemed like he wanted to say something. Lucy met an unjust death. The White Witch that suddenly came into play. The Royal Exorcist who was once powerful. The clues and the red stone given to me in haste. Cold as the stone in the deep ocean. I seem to have been thrown into a treacherous scheme by the hand of fate. And this ends chapter 3. I guess we'll have to wait until renovations are complete and the Geffen Library reopens. It's a little disappointing that we still don't know what that incident is that everyone's referring to. And why did the White Masks attack an innocent mother and child? For those of you who have played Ragnarok Online, you may recognize this chapter to be a part of the Curse of the Gaiborg, or Founding of the Nation myth quest in the original PC game. Many key elements of the first part, particularly chapters 3 to 5 of Ragnarok Origin's main story arc, are actually derived from that RO quest. We'll also be making a video on Curse of Gaiborg in the future. Tune in again next time for the 4th episode in our Ragnarok Origin main story lore series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the bell notification icon below to be notified every time we upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one.